Caveat, I am speaking in my own personal views, and I'm not speaking for Parity or Polkadot in general, but my own views are what value does Polkadot Hub bring, right, to the ecosystem? From my perspective, when Polkadot was built, it wasn't another smart contract chain, right? There's a broader vision on what we wanted to build, this blockchains of blockchains, this interoperability layer. However, that came with a high cost and high barriers to entry. And I think for the first time ever, we're actually deploying, it collectively as a whole to have this lower barrier to entry, and launching this, EVM compatibility or Ethereum compatibility smart contracts through Revive on Polkadot Hub. Now, I know it was just launched a couple weeks ago. Again, there's been a lot of kind of feedback on crypto Twitter and stuff on maybe some pain points, but this is the first iteration. So I think it is helpful to get that feedback so we can improve the functionality and make sure that beyond just the Ethereum compatibility, it grows, right? And I think that's what PVM, the Polkadot virtual machine, is to be able to deploy, where you'll be able to code not only in Solidity, but in other coding language. Again, it's a lower barriers to entry and have additional users outside of crypto native building, right? So that brings me to more so the product vision that Parity has now, to a certain degree. And I think I wouldn't say, from my perspective, Parity is going to be this development company where we're going to be having multiple businesses that we're going to be launching and going to market with, but more so taking the advantages of the engineers that built the core infrastructure of Polkadot. They know it the best. So what better use case now with Gavin at the helm to now build some middleware technology, right? Because I think if I think about the layers of the cake, is we have the core infrastructure, the substrate SDK. It allowed us kind of to build what was out there today, right? But I think what's missing still that we're actively building now is that middleware, right? Because you have consumer applications at the top layer, and those necessarily just won't be one-to-one with the core infrastructure. So I think at the same time, we're kind of flying the plane and building at the same time, where it's important to build that decentralized middleware infrastructure while thinking about proof of concept products and showcasing that, right, to the world and the community on what is possible and how can we lower the barriers to entry with these toolkits to put them to use. Right.
Okay.